Welcome back. So, former Vice President of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, has left the People's Democratic Party once again. It's actually the third time he would be leaving the party he helped found in his quest, of course, for the presidency of the country. He now leads the ADC coalition and is very likely to run for the presidency in 2027 under the platform of his new party. Now, with the exit of the former vice president, the PDP finds itself once again caught in the turbulence of waning influence. But the jury is still out as to what impact his exit will have on the former ruling party. Now, Abubakar's departure follows years of tension, most notably his long-running feud now with FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, which exposed deep divisions in the party's leadership. His departure also adds to a growing list of key exits from governors and ex-ministers to influential strategists, many of whom have either defected, become inactive, or distanced themselves from a party they once championed. In recent months, several prominent figures have either walked away or gone quiet, deepening the sense that the PDP is steadily unraveling. Among them, of course, is Dele Momodu, a notable media personality and former presidential aspirant who recently announced his exit from the party. But then the PDP leadership has made it clear that it is not perturbed by the exits of the former vice president and others. In fact, one of the leaders of the party and governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, has described the exit of the former vice president as, quote, good riddance. But the party's troubles are certainly far from over. There are reports of plans by the leadership to sack the minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, from the party. The Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the party, Ibrahim Abdullahi, has said a committee has already been put in place to review alleged anti-party activities committed by the FCT minister. According to him, many people in the PDP now believe that the party would be better without the former governor of Rivers State. But one thing I can tell you is that getting Wike sacked from the PDP will certainly be a different ball game altogether. The party must be ready for a stormy fight that could leave it completely incapacitated. We just have to wait and see how that unfolds. But joining me now to discuss all of this further is Ladan Salihu, who is a political affairs analyst, publicity secretary of the Leagues of Northern Democrat, and one-time director general of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. So everything combined. Thank you very much, sir, for coming on the program, and thanks a lot for your time.
Let me start. Thank you so very much, DEJI. Good to have you.
Yeah, it's good to have you, and always a pleasure to speak with you. But let's start with the exit of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and the impact it's likely to have on the ruling party. I mean, that's your party anyway. What exactly do you think his exit now? What impact could it have on the PDP?
Well, the exit of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar will definitely create not only a yawning gap, but it will create, a very, very difficult shoes to be worn by anybody who might contemplate, filling the gap that he has left behind. It is an earthquake. It is a monumental shift in terms of the composition and the strength and the, if you like, even the traction and velocity of the party. Certainly, the party will definitely lose steam because it's not only, Atiku Abubakar is not only the person per se, but the institution, the following, the capacity, and the almost, if you like, cult following, amongst the inner PDP rank and file stalwarts, chieftains, and what have you. So his exit will definitely not only affect the PDP negatively, but it will create, a very difficult political, gap to fill. It's almost impossible to imagine that the PDP will make any headway in the next presidential elections without the likes of Atiku Abubakar on board. That is a clear thing to everybody.
But then it can be argued that history does not support your position. I mean, he left in 2000, just before the 2007 election. He contested under the platform of the APC, ACN back then, and he lost the election. He didn't win. In fact, he didn't gain any traction at all in that election. He performed very poorly. And the PDP won, and the PDP got stronger. And then he also left again sometime in 2013, just before the 2015 election. And you know, the PDP did not implode at all. So I mean, I think that would be 2011 or so. The PDP did not implode, and so why would this be different?
Well, you see, DEJI, in politics, winning an election or losing is part and parcel of the game, and it is not. You know, an election, winning it or losing it, is not like a revolving or an oscillating door. It is a strategic, you know, issue that, you know, is there, that is part and parcel of the empirical practice and theory of politics. But then you can also equally argue, and I will argue, that, you know, in the recent two, you know, past presidential elections, Atiku has produced the numbers. He has produced over 6 million, almost 7 million votes.
And that's under the platform of the PDP. Under the platform of the
elections.
PDP.
So it does not matter. You look at the numbers. You don't. The trajectory, yes, but the trajectory itself will not in any way replace the empirical data that he has pooled in terms of, you know, the number of votes in millions, that his position in politics and contest is clearly unassailable.
Now, let's talk about those numbers. In 2019, of course, he did well. He came second in the election, polled a significant number of votes. I don't know the exact number now, but I know he did very well. 2023, he got 6.9 million, which is also very tidy and quite comfortable, coming second again. But do you think he achieved all of this on the platform of the PDP? The only time he ran for the presidency on the platform of another party, and that was ACN, he performed very woefully. So what's the guarantee that should he run in 2027 on the platform of the ADC now, that he would replicate the kind of performance we saw in 2019 and probably 2023?
I think, it's just one side of the coin, DEJI. Atiku brought followership, Atiku brought momentum, and Atiku brought value and credibility to the PDP. His presence was almost synonymous with the mass movement of political following from other parties to the PDP in the 2023 presidential elections. I am convinced that the momentum, the pendulum, is strategically swinging this time around with the coalition that will clearly produce the numbers that will make Atiku not only relevant, but will also, present him as, one of the credible, if not the most credible candidate that, can win the 2027 elections. I don't see any, with the momentum, the kind of following, the kind of movement that you see, and the gale of defections from other parties to the ADC. I want to believe with all sense of humility that, it's like I said, it's not about Atiku, but it is about Atiku's following, his credibility, his credentials, and the track record, at least in empirical terms, of the past two elections. If that momentum can be sustained, if that momentum can be, the fulcrum that will provide the balance that is needed and a shift to win elections. I think, we are in for a very, very interesting times in the 2027 elections.
But let's face it, do you think, you look at the ADC now, there are quite a number of politicians who are interested in the 2027 presidency. So, you put these politicians side by side, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. You think he'd be able to beat them and pick up the ticket?
You see, DEJI, the kind of focus the ADC has, and I have been part of, I'm part of, some of the discussions in the ADC. I have seen it up close and personal. I want to believe at this stage, the ADC is particularly concerned about, structural formation, deepening internal party democracy, creating the structures that will define that will define the party at the national and state levels. But at the level of policy, if you like, the ADC is concerned particularly about the issues that are germane to the current state of affairs in Nigeria, the issues of education out of school children, the issue of insecurity in the northwest, northeast, and only 3 days ago we saw the gruesome murder of 20 innocent lives in Plateau, and the issue of growing agriculture, unemployment.
But whether we like it or not, they must be thinking about
unemployment. These are the issues. But now talking to you on the question you've asked, I am certain that all the dramatis personnel, all the key actors, all the key players that are involved in the ADC, as I speak to you, have agreed to collapse their own personal ambitions to ensure that they build the party first, create the structure, mobilize Nigerians, recruit, willing participants, and engage all and sundry so that when the issue of campaign and election comes, then we will address the questions that you just raised. But it's not so much about personalities, but the personalities, I can assure you, they have agreed amongst themselves that the focus now is to grow the party.
But deep down that, look, that would just be political talk, because deep down, it's really about who picks up the ticket. People would not just be joining the ADC, especially top politicians like Atiku Abubakar, without having an eye on the presidency. So I mean, while they may not, while they may just be sending a different signal, but the truth is that...
Let's look at it this way.
Go on.
Let's look at it this way, DEJI. What you have, you see, what you had in the PDP, the resignation of Atiku Abubakar from the PDP especially, did not just happen, it didn't come like a fluke. It wasn't a fluke. It was occasioned and necessitated by what everyone, you, me, everybody that is in the, that watches, the goings on in politics. There is no way you can achieve any meaningful political progress and success with the kind of contraption and the contradiction and the subversion and the internal party conflict. And the PDP is literally shackled by anti-democratic, anti-party activists and activities.
Have you left the PDP?
It will make it impossible for Atiku Abubakar and the likes of Atiku Abubakar to remain in the party, because it will be like remaining in the party will be like behaving like turkeys calling for early Christmas. There is no way you can achieve any meaningful progress. And if you want to move Nigeria forward, and if you want to have a platform that will rescue the country, that will ensure that we are out of the present state of misgovernance and the present state of politics of whims and caprices, to graduate and gravitate towards politics of development, politics that will deliver, the masses from poverty and deprivation, then the PDP as it is today is not the platform. It is not the platform. Let me say this, DEJI. You and I are probably, as students of history, at least contemporary history, look back at 1998 when the PDP was formed. We had people that are parents, grandparents in politics. Some of them are still alive. The PDP was formed by, a cross section of Nigerian political leaders that have pedigree, that have history, that have quality, that have, the heartbeat of Nigeria, resonating within them. I'm talking about the likes of, Vice President Ekwueme and, Let Solomola, people like Gemadi and Ibrahim Taib, the Takumas, Sule Lamidos, and what have you. And when you see the kind of politics that obtains today in the PDP, it is shameful that we do not, as a party, they do not even defer to and look at the salient contributions of these titans who built up the party, who gave them platform to be either governors, to be ministers, and what have you. So if they are not living to the to extol the true virtues, principles, values, and vision and mission of the PDP as established by its founding fathers, then we have a problem.
All right.
And these are some of the issues that we see when probably Atiku Abubakar had to leave, because you cannot practice politics with a house that is almost literally collapsing.
All right, I get your point. But let me just quickly ask you this, because we're actually out of time. Have you left the PDP?
I want to tell you, DEJI, as first of all, as a colleague, in journalism, we don't lie. And facts are sacred. This day today, Friday the 18th, I have submitted my letter of resignation to from the PDP to my ward chairman, that is Ardo Ward in Bauchi local government. And I have, with this, effectively, is the word called excommunicated? No, I have departed and parted ways with the PDP for good.
So you're leaving your governor behind?
I am leaving, not the governor. The governor is my governor. He is my brother. He is somebody who has impacted my political life positively. But when it comes to principles and when it comes to the core objectives that define, my own personal vision and mission, and looking forward to what I believe is good for my country, I have to take a bow. But I want to assure you that it has nothing to do with my personal relationship with, my state governor. Is a person I have a tremendous regard for.
So you're going to the ADC then?
We watch and see. And I can assure you the announcement will come in the next 7 days or thereabout. But even before then, my one foot was and still is in the ADC, and you can say 50% is a pass mark.
All right, that's interesting.
We are good to go with the ADC, I can assure you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir, for coming on the program and for speaking with us. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure, DEJI. Yeah. Good luck.
All right, that's how much you can take on the program this week. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.